Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you for joining us on this beautiful Shabbat day for Shabbat with Hadassah and Elder Chris. We're here to just share some tidbits of our walk in the Torah, discovering our Hebrew roots and how that has changed our lives. We come from a Anglican, Christian, Catholic perspective, and
A worldly perspective.
yeah. And so we're not trying to push a religion because we really don't consider ourselves Jewish or Christian, but we are doers and trying to be hearers of the truth and the word. And so that just translates as reading the word and doing as best we can to follow. So today we want to talk a little bit about worship, and I'll let you start.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's great that you mentioned that we aren't really trying to walk in a religion or find a religion, because it actually ties to worship.
Mm-hmm.
Religion doesn't worship Yahuwah, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, Scripture teaches us to come out of it. So
Come out of?
religion.
Okay.
So what is worship? You know, we hear a lot of talk about people singing praises and worship Yahuwah with your voice and with song and with, like David, like the Psalms.
Yeah.
But the part there's something missing from that. There's something seriously missing from that, which I think has been, it's led to a lot of deception, because it's a mixing of truth and deception. So it becomes a real deceiver that we, worship Yahuwah by the praise and how loud you get on Shabbat, and how worthy our songs are. But the fact of the matter is, when David wrote his Psalms and all that he wrote,
King David, we're talking.
King David, yes, Melech David.
Yes, he deserves his full title.
Right. The difference and the truth of what Melech David did with the Psalms is that that's coming out of a place based on what he's done and experienced.
So you're trying to say that worship is something that we follow, not just speak.
Exactly. The Psalms came from worshiping Yahuwah. They came out of his worship to Yahuwah. And if you notice, it wasn't an instruction to us to repeat his Psalms. It was his experiences and what he based on what he had done, that he committed to paper so that we can learn from what he's done.
Right.
And by that I mean, okay, so
let's give examples.
Sure. You might think that the Psalm and one of his shirim, because David wrote the songs and everything that the Leviim sang before
The Levites.
That they sang before in the temple. And all of those things were to get people into a mindset of what needed to be done, not how to sing, but what needed to be done. If you listen to the lyrics of the Psalms, they're speaking about what's been done and how he praises the name of Yahuwah because of his worship and how Yahuwah has called him to worship. So the crux of the matter comes down to what is worship really? Because a lot of people thought it was how well you sing and how well you praise.
How well you play an instrument as well.
And how you play an instrument, right? And playing an instrument can be a call to worship because the Levium did, and they were doing something.
Right.
But what does Scripture teach us on worship? And you and I were talking about it this morning. And the first verse that comes to mind is Romans chapter 12.
Romans 12.
Verse 1. Do you have it?
I do.
I really want to use the RST&E.
Okay, because this is the NIV.
Yeah, I really want to use the RST because Shaliach is faithful in what he did. And what Shaliach did there was actually an act of worship.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
And so, do I have it ready before me? No. Yeah. I'll bring it up in a second. Give me a second.
Well, I'll say it in this one, and then you could show the difference.
Well, here it comes.
Okay, there we go.
Romans chapter 12.
Romans 12, 1.
And verse 1.
Verse 1.
And many of you already know this, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes we have to remind ourselves.
Yes.
I'll let you read it.
Okay. I beg you, therefore, Israelite brothers, by the Rahamim of Yahuwah, by the mercy of Yahuwah, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, kadosh, holy, acceptable to Yahuwah, which is your act of reasonable worship.
Reasonable. It's not the greatest. It's what's acceptable. It's reasonable.
It's like the bare minimum.
Yeah, exactly. It's reasonable. So how do we do these things? Because what's called for? Sacrifice.
Holy.
Set apartness.
And set apartness.
These are all acts. This is what you do. Your life, your walk is your worship to Yahuwah, not your voice. Because, I asked you, show me the book or the sefer that was written in the scriptures that teach you how to worship by voice.
Nice thunder. Yeah, I don't think it exists.
It doesn't exist.
Exactly.
There's no book in the Bible that teaches you how to praise by voice, how to worship by voice. David, what I said David did, he did from his worship, and he committed the results of what he did from his worship into the Psalms.
So what does it mean, present your bodies a living sacrifice?
Wow. That's a tough one.
That's a whole lesson in itself.
Sacrifice means what? You got to give up some things. You have to do some things. You have to forget self.
Yes.
And not living according to self is sacrifice. So what are you living according to? The word of Yahuwah. You're walking in his word.
Yeah.
Walking in his, as the scripture says, halachot in the Hebrew, walking in his ways, in the Torah. That is a reasonable.
Wow.
Reasonable service of worship.
Yeah. And we were talking about it after Shabbat last week, remember? Where we have to empty ourselves out and how big of a task that is, but it's not impossible.
No, it's not.
But it's very different to how the world lives their life.
A lot of people are trying to walk in such a way that they are content and satisfied.
Yeah.
Or not content, but happy.
Yeah.
And looking for happiness as the goal.
Happiness and comfort.
Comfort. That was the word I was looking for. They want to feel comfortable in what they're doing. And the scripture does not call us to comfort. In fact, just looking at the lifestyle of all the people who are role models to us in the scriptures, there was no comfort in
The
them.
prophets.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So us seeking comfort is an illusion, a distraction from the truth.
Probably the one in scripture that had the most comfort I would say would be King Solomon, but Yahuwah ascribed that to his life. He was very particular. He says, your father was a warrior, and his role was to get rid of all these peoples, right?
But I can assure you, David was not comfortable.
No, not David.
I mean, Shlomo was not comfortable.
Right.
But
considering.
Yeah, you might say, well, the one that had the least turmoil.
Probably. But you're right. And maybe he wasn't as good as we're thinking.
Try.
Yeah.
One wife. Try 1,000. I mean, that could not have been a very comfortable situation for David, but he did that not for his comfort, not for his enjoyment. David was strategic in his thinking. All these wives that he had were by design for a purpose. Because all the Melachim around him that wanted to war,
all the kings
that wanted to war, offered, because of the marriages that they had to David, now they weren't enemies anymore.
True.
They weren't enemies. They were now considered allies. And that's what Yahuwah said he would do for Shlomo, that there would be no war in his time. And the only way to achieve that was for David to have made sure that they were allies through matrimony.
Right.
So people think, oh, he was after the flesh. No, he was a very strategic thinker.
Yeah.
His wisdom surpassed.
Wow. There's never been anyone like him in wisdom. This has
never been anyone like him before and not since.
Except Yahusha, of course.
Right. Well, he created that.
Right.
So, no, it's not about comfort at all. It's about the sacrifice. David sacrificed his own life, and Shlomo sacrificed his own life and his comfort and all that he could have had for Beit Israel, for the house of Israel. Right. And so if we are to worship Yahuwah, then our sacrifice must also be evident in our lives. And that comes by our walk, not by what we say.
Right.
Because as Sister Cecile and Jamaicans have the saying, Mouth Mekfachat. It can say anything.
Say whatever it wants.
Whatever it wants to say. But your walk, your halachot, well, that says a lot more.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you all. No, I got it. He thought his phone was going to fall. Thank you all for joining with us. Hopefully you could join with us next week. And at 1:30, we have our live service, Miami Day Jihad, on YouTube and Facebook. So have a beautiful Shabbat and a good Shavuot Tov, a good week. We'll see you hopefully next time, y'all willing.